Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's welcome back to Karandrin role playing. It's episode 129 of Brise's Tale, and as always, I will be your host and game master for tonight. My name is Kevin Matus Spinnings, also known as Craig Palantir. My good buddy Max is here to play Brise of Brise's Tale. And Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Well, hey everybody! I just realized I have a new love interest, but other
You
than
have a
that,
new love interest? Oh, we were goofing off way too much.
all right. Yeah, I hope
Oh,
you're all having a good night, ready for episode 129 of Brise's Tale.
that's right. We're sort of very brief catch up. Not a, I mean, there's a lot going on, but um, we the short, the long and short of it is that in an area called the Vetch, we have lots of changes going on. An undead force has seized that area. Oh yeah, I should change that, right? I should edit it.
Largely uninhabited, entirely uninhabited.
Exactly. So yeah, I can edit it while it's up, which I couldn't do with the other ones.
That's pretty cool.
Formerly inhabited. Um, um, but this a deadly undead race. They were driven to genocide. They were the victim of a genocide some many millennium ago, and they came back, at least part of them, as a very vindictive race. Their murderers were humans, and so they have a particular hatred of humans. And and because of various events that have gone on in our past episodes, they have risen to a more organized and angry state, and have now exterminated, we believe, almost everybody not undead, all civilized races within that section of the Vetch, which really is the Eastern Vetch. I should probably make that change as well. And so tell us about the rescue effort that you and others conducted while I fix this caption, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So Fraldrim, who is the chief magician at Lady Miagral's court, and her apprentice Doshrik, and us three led a rescue effort to teleport into one of the settlements and just try to basically rescue as many refugees as we could. One of the settlements we found was completely overrun. Another settlement was a little better. There were already a lot of people outside that we were able to round up and protect. And I think we didn't make it to the third settlement that we saw in the area. But we did save about 15 to 20 individuals. Very close call. We opened up a portal, ran through, sealed the portal, and then Fraldrim used the Last for magic to disguise it so that they couldn't trace us to where we'd escaped to. And we ended up at a friend of Fraldrim's. I can't remember this character's name for some reason.
Oh, it's
remind me.
The lady.
Yeah, I don't know why her name just doesn't stand out to me. Anyway, a friend of Fraldrim's, a lady who owns a small vineyard, or a moderate vineyard, somewhere outside the city of Convergence. We ended up kind of allowing the refugees to stay the night. We ourselves, hold up for the night. And that seemed like everything was taken care of until above the vetch in the far distance, an eerie green glow appears in the sky. And most definitely the work of something necromantic. We know there is a necromancer named Chelbrick operating in the vetch and making some deal with the Philistine. Could be related to what he has been doing. So in the morning, we decided to make some plans to do some more investigations, more information gathering. I have started looking into some information on Chelbrick, asking around in the city of Convergence, asking merchants, asking. We found out that he did appear one summer ago at a summer party hosted by Lady Inabreen in Convergence. So that's a good lead for identifying who Chelbrick is and where he might appear next.
Right. He's not a total recluse.
Right.
For his own. It's Lady Kieran. That's
Lady Kieran. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, we know Chelbrick comes into the city, maybe not often, but at least periodically to renew supplies, gather his own information, all that.
Yeah, and it is interesting that he bothered to socialize among the wealthy.
He was doing magic tricks
at the party.
Yeah.
And so either he is simply
kills someone, like raises them from the dead. Oh,
right. Ta-da! Another slave for me.
Glorious.
Yeah. So there's this overall effort to try to gather information on Chelbrick, to gather information on what the Philistine are now up to in this rugged area, and unfortunately the humans, you saved what few you could, but it had to be probably a couple of hundred that are now lay dead or will soon rise as undead.
Right.
The other aspect of this, and why don't you roll for me?
9.
There's definitely another loose end you feel like needs to be addressed. With everything going on and your desperate actions in the vetch, has pushed it from your mind. But it is gnawing on you. And so every now and then remind me, and I'll let you roll to see if something shakes loose.
Related to the vetch?
Yes.
Okay.
Something specifically up in the vetch that is, I can delete this bad boy.
Right.
So there's a search for Chelbrick going on to learn more about him, how best to approach him, and so on, and find out what he is up to in his dealings with the Philistine. Obviously, a necromancer, is fine around undead so long as they're under his control, we
surmise that it's probably in Chelbrick's aim to control all of the Philistine one day. It makes
right.
sense.
Why do otherwise?
Incredibly powerful.
Yeah, they're all very significantly powerful. You could tell that these more experienced characters, NPCs, like Fraldrum. Do I not have Fraldrum on here? Well, I need to add her on here. But Fraldrum is, very significant.
Fraldrum in the database roller? She's there. Because we know she's kind of...
I'm saying I don't have her caption written up.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I was going to pop it on there. But she, she's a very powerful spellcaster of some flavor. And, she can take them out. Definitely can take them out. Can she take 3 or 4 out at, one time, closing in on her? She was injured.
Yeah.
Doshrik, who is her apprentice, he too, has been able to take them out, but it's a one at a time kind of job. And there's dozens and dozens and dozens of them in a given area, adding up to what we suspect is thousands. So you have to forgive us. We're both a little under the weather. So then you have gained all this information while at a magic shop. Is it the Immortal Candle? Is that where you were?
Yes.
And so you're off to report your findings to Iron, which is the local wizard Prethnot. It's her right-hand man. We know that Chelbrick betrayed Iron, and Iron is more than happy for some revenge. And so all of these pieces may come together to form some sort of coalition against Chelbrick or the Philistine. And that would be just lovely. Did you mention, because I was working, I'm sorry, forgive me, I was working on that caption. Did you mention the Fae, the involvement of the Fae also?
Yeah. So the Trinidas in the Vetch occupy some of the valleys there, and have been periodically reaching out to me to discuss updates happening. And with this, conflict that broke out, we're going to visit them and ask them if they could more closely monitor one, Chelbrick's tower, but two, any sites, any ruins of the Philistine that may see an increased activity in case they're gathering resources from them or lost knowledge.
Right. The fear is, of course, that the Philistine will begin amassing the remnants of power of their past civilization, and consolidating it and forming some sort of even greater stronghold in the Vetch. That could be complicated, of course. That fact, I should say, escalates matters, and that it does increase the power of the Philistine, but also if there are remnants of their civilization that are particularly powerful, magical or just knowledge-wise, they could be used to barter with Chelbrick for further deepening their alliance, their favors, and so on. So you have two goals to wrap up today, you're hoping, right? I guess three. No, you have Iron, and then you need to teleport to the Vetch.
And warn the Trinidas, and then return to Lady Kieran's house.
Right.
I think is what we agreed on, right?
Yeah. And so, all right. So forgive us that little recap, but we don't. We do at the beginning because
we need it as much as you do.
Well, there's some truth to that. I'm not gonna lie.
I need it. So we're off to the Blue Door Inn, right?
Yeah. So roll to navigate
from the Immortal Candle to the Blue Door. 51.
No problem.
It's a subsidiary of the Red Roof Inn.
That's right. It's the Blue Basement and the Red Door. That's the two. That's the two you go for. Roll for me.
55.
And again.
19.
All right. You were getting, as you pass people, despite your unarmed appearance and so on, you're getting worried looks from people as you were walking. And you come to discern, they're actually not looking, they're glancing at you, but they're glancing at something behind you. Roll for me.
Okay. 46.
Either they sense something evil or you are being followed. And while it's not obvious to you, it's obvious to people coming.
Right. Well, I will take a discreet glance backwards, see if I can catch anyone following me.
Roll for me.
Where did that dragon come from? 67.
Nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, there's plenty of people behind you. None of whom look more nefarious or more involved in your travels.
Can I try to pull someone aside who looks worried and is willing to talk to me and ask, is something the matter? Why do you look so worried?
Human, woman, very young, so you stop. Relatively fine dress, attire, I should say. I don't like to use dress when I refer to a woman, but she says, no, nothing. I don't want to get mixed up in anything. Nothing, no. And she pulls herself free from you and keeps walking.
Oh my goodness.
And looking at her like that was you at one time. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I were somebody else, that's exactly how I'd act.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. I mean, I guess I didn't see anyone following me, but I'll try to turn into duck into him. What?
Oof, you're a bat.
I wish. This isn't the Halloween episode.
Right.
Let me turn into an alley. Just try to shake whatever's maybe behind me.
I know you're a bit young for this, but have you ever seen the? I may be confusing it. There's two big Bugs Bunny episodes that involve there's one that involves a vampire, and another one. I think it's the Halloween special for Bugs Bunny back in the day, the Looney Tunes Halloween special. It's really great. It's just funny as shit. And so in one of them, you have Bugs Bunny being invited to this house, and it's a witch who's going to cook him and eat him and all this, right? And he's sort of totally oblivious, and he's taking his bath, and like she comes up to him to kill him, with a bat or whatever, with an actual bat, right? And he's like, da da da, abracadabra, and it changes her back to a bat. And then she and the club fall out of it. And he just sings, and then he just, hocus pocus. And she changes back at the wrong time, into a human. Yeah. And he's totally oblivious, and she just keeps getting changed over, and it's just hysterical. And then he realizes what's going on and goes, huh? And he goes, hocus cadabra. And so she's got like a head with bat wings, and he's like, cadabra pocus. And he's just trying all these different, anyway.
I love that I can I've never seen that, but I can picture it exactly because Looney Tunes is such like a distinct style. Yeah.
It's those are cartoons, masterful.
Yeah.
Man, they make me laugh.
A lot of credit to them. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My favorite line in that is one of my favorite lines is Yosemite Sam as a knight coming up to his dragon, who is his mount, right? Mm-hmm. Who's just dumped him into the moat. And he comes right up to the dragon's snoot and he goes, dragons is so stupid. I love it. All right, sorry. I totally gutted the tension.
No, that's useful. I'm going to use that when I encounter a dragon.
All right, so there's
I can slip into an alley and try to eye whatever's following me, or
and you go. Roll for me.
80.
So you sort of watch people pass by. You see nothing. but you feel something.
Mm.
There's older human male, hunched, has to walk with a staff. Um, I mean, it looks painful. Possibly an old miner now, living with family in the city,
Mhm.
right? Back-breaking work that has sort of, shortened
Yeah.
his healthy life. Um, your intuition lights that old man up, but there's nothing visibly, but he just passes on by. What would you like to do?
I will let him pass by.
Okay.
Wait a minute, and then I'll go back into the streets.
Go back out. Roll for me.
Okay. 8.
No sign of him. Your intuition is he's not around, but you are being watched.
Mm. An old man.
I should hop over to the chat in case we have visitors that we need to greet.
Okay. Then I will continue on my way. Very odd. Not the first time I've been followed in a city, though, so I can't.
No, it's
Yeah.
always a possibility in these large urban areas.
Gorgeous. We always talk about this, right? We had downplayed a bit because as beautiful as I am, it would probably be like everywhere I go would be like cat calls and just.
Yeah, I mean, you really are so strikingly attractive. I mean, it's actually a detriment.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about. Like if you pass through small rural areas, I mean, people would remember you for months.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to keep your head, literally your head down, so that you don't. You're not so easy to follow just from people, asking.
Right.
So you're going to keep going or not?
Yeah. Going
Okay.
to the blue door.
You figure you're halfway there. So if this, it does occur to you, if this is you would hate to lead someone to Prethna. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
As I'm going, though, does it seem like people are still reacting the same way as they were before?
no.
Okay.
Um,
Well, maybe to be safe, though, yeah, we could just do a teleport to somewhere near the blue door inn.
okay. Do you have a place memorized near there?
I do not have one memorized, but I guess I can roll to see if I remember any
Yeah.
ways close by.
Sure. Go ahead.
90.
Yes. There are some shops there and so on. It's going to be a little public. It's easier to remember like the facade of the shop than it is an alleyway.
Right.
And so that's a difficulty. Now you don't have to teleport there. You could teleport to somewhere within sight in an alley.
Sorry.
And attempt to lose your tail.
I could teleport where you said? Just somewhere.
Just anywhere within sight.
Oh, yeah. True.
Ooh. Excuse me.
Yeah, let's do that. We could just pick somewhere, a couple blocks up the street. See if I could lose. Just guarantee that.
Well, here though you have a choice of being discreet, right? By looking down alleyways.
Right.
Yeah, and so you can go left or right. You can go perpendicular to your route, basically.
Right.
So pick one. The one to your right, you can go 3 blocks away.
Let's do it. Use my channeling boots.
All right. Are we all right? You're going to use the channeling boots. You take a look. Are you going to take your time or just going to cast it?
I'll take my time.
Okay. So you're basically muttering the spell and you're brushing your, you're sort of burning time as though you're,
I'm just standing still, muttering this.
That's right.
Okay.
Roll for me.
34.
Nice. Boop. You sort of, duck in one of the back alleys so that no one just glancing around can see you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to risk keeping an eye on this alley, or you just want to keep going?
Let's just keep going, yeah.
You feel it's safe to start cutting back over.
Mm-hmm.
Make your way down. You come up along the alley, right beside the blue door inn. Nothing untoward. So
All right.
in you go.
Into the inn.
Gotta remember this guy's name.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name too.
Did not find it that way. That's weird. I thought it would be in there. There we go. Belkef.
Bellcat, thank you.
Yeah, at the Blue Door Inn.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll see if he's there at the front. I think he's one of the. He is the innkeep, or he's like a shop.
No. He just has a permanent arrangement in the back.
Right.
Basically, a few tables, probably 3 tables, and their chairs are basically his storefront.
Mm-hmm.
You know that he basically lives here just from something that was said by his former assistant.
Right.
So
I actually just saw him. Well, no, actually, I hadn't seen him. I know he was sick with the
right
fever, yesterday, but I guess he's better now. So
he's bundled up. Of course, he's always sort of bundled up. He keeps a hood down and so on. Roll for me.
25.
Okay. And roll for me again. This is you looking around the commons room.
21.
I mean, you get that vibe that everyone is looking at you. You know, you can't help it. It can't be real. So you just have to shake it off. You walk up to Belkef.
See if he recognizes me first.
Oh, he recognizes you. I mean, if you've got your face uncovered, if he can see your face, he recognizes you.
I say, good day. I've heard you were sick before. It's good to see you healthy again.
You're awful kind, but given the trouble you've caused me. But that was no fault of yours, I suppose.
The way I see it, I deposed you of an unfaithful servant.
Yeah, rid you.
Incompetent servant.
Yeah. Untrustworthy, definitely. Well, what can I do for you today?
I'd like to request an audience with Iron, if possible.
He takes an old walking staff and he knocks on the door beside him.
Let me add. You could say it's about Cheldrick as well, just to give it a little extra persuasiveness.
If you want to take a seat, he says,
Mm-hmm.
Iron will likely come down here.
Okay.
To remind our viewers, Iron is the right hand henchman of Prethnot. Yeah, there he is. Interesting. Change some of this. That's what I get for not having him written up before. A little goblin kid opens the door. Shelbrook writes a few notes on it.
Shelbrook, he's here.
Sorry. Belkef writes a few
my
notes
spear.
on it. Yeah. And gives it to the boy, whispers some very harsh instructions in his ear, shakes the boy very hard as you better remember, you better get this right.
Mm-hmm.
And shoves the kid away from him, sips his hot tea, gestures for any of the seats around. About half full right now. Just one group of adventurers, a solitary adventurer, if it's of any interest to you.
I'll make conversation with Belkef though. I'll ask him if he's seen what happened over the vetch last night.
See, no, but more than a few tales from the northern farms.
Okay.
And
it wasn't visible from Convergence. Okay.
We got to remember the walls.
True.
So the guards would have seen it. But I doubt the news would have reached this high-end crowd yet from the guards. He scrutinizes you and says, "What do you know of this?"
I'd say I know enough, a little bit. Just trying to actually what do I? I don't know. I don't even need to. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I get a good vibe from this guy or not. That's what I'm trying to remember.
Super. I mean, look him up. You've got his name now.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know. Keff.
Let's see. He's secretive. Wrapped face, speaks very quietly. Okay. I don't really have any notes on whether he's trustworthy or not, but
roll it up.
Let's see. 44.
Very hard to read.
Okay. I'll say there's just been necromantic magic that I've heard, something I'm investigating.
You, by yourself, investigating something that can do that?
Me and a few other interested individuals.
Like who? He takes out a mithril and he spins it in his hand.
I ask, what is it to you?
Information is valuable. Takes out 2 more mithril. He has 3 mithril in his hand, and he's rolling them like a wagon wheel on the table.
Well, oh my gosh. I know Brise isn't easily swayed by riches, but that is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
I did spend a lot of money.
Just confuse him. Take out a copper and start spinning it on the table. Uh-huh. Like, what does that even mean? No.
The other thing is I've remember what happened with Oshekra, right? I gave away, he offered me basically maybe an offer I couldn't refuse, and it was I regretted it still.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you did gain.
Yeah, it was considerable, but
Jeez.
yeah. I'll ask him. Have you heard of a man named Shelbrick? A necromancer named Shelbrick. He frequents here in Convergence. I think him connected with these events.
I do not know that name.
Okay.
I'm hurt he's not visited. At least to see if I have anything he's interested in. Do you have any other names associated with him? He sets the 3 down and slides it to you. Takes out 1 mithril more.
I don't think I do. Just make up a name. Have you heard of
Exactly?
Have you heard of Doshrik?
Volshad. Volshad.
Baralag.
That's right. Yeah, send him after Oshekra.
Yeah, I say no, unfortunately that's all I know. He seems to be very reclusive despite making appearances in the city. I don't know much about him or anyone else he's associated with.
All right. And he slides you the last mithril. You answered.
I know. Okay.
I mean, you didn't say I'm not going to tell you.
Right.
Gave an answer. He thought you were honest.
Yeah.
Or he at least wants you to think you.
That's like 1,000. Like feels like $4,000.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's
valuable.
I got calculated. 1 gold is about $125.
Right.
So 100. Yeah. So that's $1,200.
Okay. Then I'll pocket that, and I just ask him, well, what will you do with this?
Else you're interested in?
What do you plan to do with this information then?
Don't worry your pretty head. I'm not going to give your name out, but it would be nice to have him at least as a customer.
Okay.
Now you have a problem. You have just set things in motion such that Shelbrick may wind up at Iron's door.
Which is perfect, because then we can't capture.
Well, it has some elements of perfection to it. Assuming there are not the confrontation does not take place in, and I'm just throwing out an example off the top of my head, an affluent inn filled with innocence, delicious, juicy, succulent innocence.
I mean, okay, maybe Brise is assuming too much, but Irons is not here, right? He's pretty well disguised in terms of his,
Well, he's no dummy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I doubt like Chubra could find. I mean, maybe I am assuming too much about him, but he's a necromancer, and Prethnot's an amazing like portal magician, right? I
feel like to say, are those portals being opened by Prethnot so that Iron can do Prethnot's bidding? Roll for me.
74.
No. The way that Iron carries himself, that man will cut you before he'll cast you. He walks.
I'm not sure I follow. Whatever.
Meaning he's more skilled with arms than he is with magic.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
He has a fighter's build. He walks with a watchfulness,
right,
and a physical readiness.
Portal magic. He is.
But again, I mean, that may still It's the chance encounter that may be worrisome. Now, unlikely, right? Shelbrick happens to stop in at Belkeff's invitation.
Right.
Iron happens to exit down the stairs
At that moment, yeah.
So unlikely, but a little concerning.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I was confused about
Right.
the danger of the situation, but I see what you mean. Yeah. Then I mentioned to Belkev, well, let me know if he stops in then. If Chelbrick stops in.
I can do that so long as you keep my name out of it.
Of course. I take out the 4 mithril and I'm like, now what can you tell me about?
Oh, that would be so funny. I've seen something like that.
Yeah.
Where they pass it back and forth, and I can't remember. Do you know the great Abbott and Costello? Have you watched any Abbott and Costello?
Oh yeah, I mean, who's on first?
Oh yeah, it's a great one. Oh yeah, I mean your cultural upbringing is not complete until you've seen Who's on First. There's another one where Abbott and Costello are splitting some money they've won or whatever, right? And so the lean one, I get them confused. The lean one is counting out the money into the other one's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, how old did your niece turn the other day? She goes, oh, she turned 15. He goes, oh, that's great. 16, 17, 18, 19. You know, and he just keeps doing that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it's just so good, man. They're just masterful. So I found out that go back to another famous duo, Laurel and Hardy, right? The fatter one. He's from Georgia, actually, and he got his marriage license the same place me and my wife got my marriage license. Isn't that crazy?
That's fun.
So
there's only one in the state of Georgia, though, so it's actually not that exciting.
That's right. See, yeah, because otherwise families just allow brother and sister to marry, and you just keep going. Anything else you wanna posit to him?
I don't think so. It definitely seems like I don't want to give him, by asking him questions, I feel like I'm going to give him information as well.
Yeah, but you'll wind up
back. We'll just talk about the weather. That'll be
exactly.
How's the weather? Slides you a minute. I've heard it's sunny tomorrow.
That's great. He's like, I haven't been outside in a while because of my cold. How's the weather? You know, and that's so great.
Wait, these are mithril? I thought I was giving you bronze.
Like in the early days of cell phones, you know, there was the joke about, how's it go? There's a joke about, oh, it'll tell you the weather. You can get your weather forecast on it. Mm-hmm. And someone's like, my phone will do that too. I just hold it out the window and if I bring it back and it's wet, I know it's raining. Which I think is a modification of a much older joke, but I can't swear to that. It's a considerable wait. Eventually you find yourself sitting. Couple of young men come up, try to make chit chat. They're both not unskilled at their approach, but you invite them back. You whore.
You have 10 minutes. Politely decline them.
And you're like, no. You slide them a mithril. And they're like, what? You're going to run that joke into the ground. Go to the fill stand with 4 mithril. And you're going to... So it's
I'll go buy a drink. We can read one of my books as well.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want
Lunchtime comes and goes. Do you want to buy a meal?
Yeah.
So we'll call it 3 silver.
Okay.
Iron makes an appearance. He moves.
Forgot this place is 1 gold piece a night. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very high end.
Super high end, yeah.
Iron makes an appearance. He comes down the stairs. Belcath has been just keeping tabs on you so he can point Iron the right way, nods to the location. Iron is sort of there in front of you before you've even heard him. And he's like, "What news do you have?"
Well, I start off saying that not sure if you've seen what's happened above the Vetch, but we think Chelbrick is making a move there. There's been magic, strong magic in the skies above that region.
I've heard. You think that's Chelbrick?
It seems likely. We also. Wait, was it gonna? I was praying this whole time, and I forgot. I wanted to ask him about Chelbrick and about meeting with Fraldrim.
Right.
Right. So I say, and if it is Chelbrick, we thought we might use your help in
uncovering what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, we need someone to help uncover what's going on.
And do you want to then reveal that you've learned that he visits the city?
Yeah. That was the third thing. Thank you.
Yeah. He leans forward, very interested at that point. How did you hear about this?
I mentioned a wealthy merchant at the Immortal Candle magic shop here was asking about the name Chelbrick, and she said saw him at a party hosted by Lady Inabreen last summer. Appears to like to hanging out with wealthy clientele.
Her name means nothing to me, but it soon will. What else can you tell me about her?
The lady, nothing. I came straight from the Immortal Candle to here.
Well, you know the rough area of the city where her house is.
Yeah, I'll tell her.
He reaches across the table, squeezes your hand. He's like, "I owe you for this."
Okay.
As for this meeting, when do you propose we meet?
Well, I'm returning to our meeting place tonight. If you can make it then.
I have too many tasks here.
Okay.
It would be 2 days at least.
Did I talk with Fraldrim about if we would arrange like a meeting time or place?
You guys all had a meeting place to report your various successes.
Right, but yeah, I don't know if we got as far as if Iron would agree to meet, where we would meet.
Right, because you would, I doubt it, because you would have to know schedules.
I do feel bad about Lady Kieran. Now we're kind of just like, can we just stay here for a week? Someone might be showing up.
Yeah, but from your experience in such wealthy households, they have the room,
Yeah. And that's true. Again, in this time, a week isn't really that long.
No, no, especially not for the, it'd be like staying, I mean, not staying a week with Oprah, but it would be, staying a week with a millionaire
Mm-hmm.
who's like, yeah, we've got the extra bedrooms. Which wing do you want? And,
Right. So I say, could you, we're meeting at, I guess I'll just say Lady Kieran's place, estate outside of, to the north of Convergence.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a large vineyard out there.
There are many vineyards. I have enough contacts. I should be able to find it. When?
I mean, I did walk to Convergence, right? Do I remember the path? I could give him
Roll for me.
rough instructions, at least 39.
You can get him, close to the area.
Okay.
I'll
tell him that. And then I say you can ask for Fraldrim or Doshrik or me when you're there.
Let's say then 2 days from now in the evening.
Okay. So that would be the 26th.
I will have to let Prethnot know and know of your involvement. I cannot keep something like this from her.
That should be fine.
Roll for me.
47.
You can tell he's eager for action. His hand rests on the pommel of his dagger.
Right.
His knuckles are white. He is just crushing that dagger.
Maybe I shouldn't tell him about what I told Belkov then. If that makes him act rashly. Does he seem like a rash person? I can't remember.
Well, he seems like he's always seemed to you very cool and collected.
Right.
So this change in his demeanor, I'll give you another roll.
Okay. 78.
What you see is, unfortunately, you're certain it's the true nature of his temper that he normally keeps very tightly in check.
Yeah, how would I describe that? He seems eager to action.
So he, again, just sort of, he's clearly like resisting, just like really taking you up in a bear hug, like so grateful for this lead.
Wow.
And so he just sort of clasps your shoulder as he stands, over you. And
I'll take 4 mithril. I mean,
you're like, thank you. And you slide him 4. It's like, what are you doing?
And he really hugs me.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
So
I'll also just ask about if Prethnot has found out anything about any info on Volshad.
That's right. How long has it been?
Just 1 day, so actually not even probably 16 hours. So
yeah, it's doubtful she's turned her attention to that yet. So okay. Probably would just hold that question. So he rises, takes his leave, goes back upstairs. Um, and so that's a good stopping point.
Yeah.
So we could run and take a break and go refill our drinks and stretch our legs. So I hope you guys join us in just a few moments, and we'll be back as Brise goes to visit the Trinidas in the Vetch and to recruit their help in very specific ways. And so just hang out with us for a few more minutes. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us for that brief break. Let's get Max back here. Hello, Max. Welcome back. So we just had an interesting conversation with Iron.
Good to be back.
I missed you. We had an interesting conversation with with Prethnot's right-hand man named Iron in regards to trying to curb the power of this necromancer, Shelbrick, who seems to be aligning with a whole army of undead to the north of the city of Convergence. Toward that end, you are looking to travel, specifically teleport to the Vetch and try to meet with the Trapdos,
Right.
To recruit their aid further. They have been for a long time keeping their eye on the march of the Philistine. And they're the ones who, of course, first brought you warning of their militant rise and sudden turn against all living peoples in the eastern areas of the Vetch. So,
yeah, we're gonna try to find just pop into an alleyway and see if we should be able to teleport to there from Convergence range.
You rise, you turn to go, and there between you and the door sits an old man with a walking stick, hunched. He was a gentleman you had a very distinctive feeling about on the streets of Convergence.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "You used a teleport, didn't you? No one can lose me tracking unless it's a teleport. But you didn't recognize me without my bear, did you?"
Oh. What was his name? Let me scroll up.
His name is Baloo.
No, that's the bear.
It's the bare necessities. Oh.
This was one of Prethnot's other cronies.
Call him a crony to his face, by God.
Oh, where was it?
Yeah, he was. I should do a search just for all of Prethnot's.
Belkev.
Hezareth?
No. Hezareth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem was there was 3 new characters that I think
Basil,
Hezareth, and then the bear's name had a name as well.
Right.
Okay. I say Hezareth. Okay. No wonder I got a bad feeling about from who was following me. I asked, what business do you have with me? Oh.
Prethnot just wanted to keep an eye on you to make sure you weren't in anybody's employ. You passed. Not that she won't check again, mind, but you passed.
Okay.
For my part, I'll tell you, I don't care how close you are with Iron. Cross Prethnot, nothing will stop me from killing you.
Okay.
I just feel it's fair to tell you that.
That's fair. And I'll try to, just look him dead in the eyes and say I would never dream of it. Except last night I had this dream where Was he an old man before? I thought he was younger.
Nope, he was not. Which means either he's using a magic item or he's very skilled.
Right.
But you realize now, like, oh, he had to walk with a hunch to hide his height.
Right.
He was a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
And so
I guess we're just standing here by the door, just kind of like, get closer to him, be a little more discreet. I say that it felt like a very powerful presence was following me. You were scaring people on the streets. Was that just you alone?
I thought you were going to get close to him and slide 4 mithril out. Just be like, listen, buddy.
Damn it.
Yeah, let me just. He goes,
I say, no, I slide for a mithril. Give these to Bellcath. It's from Brise. Just trade it on.
So great. He looks you over like curiously. He's like, you've got real instincts about you. He just grabs his staff and walks off.
Okay. What a strange man. No, seriously, like Verby just like attacked me like as soon as he saw me. Had his bear me. Does not mess around.
No. When things go bad that close to your master's door, you can't mess around.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, before he goes, he slides you 4 mithril. I just want to keep running this joke into the ground.
I just open an inn in Prethnon or in Convergence, and it's called the 4 mithril.
Exactly.
That's not how much it costs. That's just.
Why'd you call it the exchange? You don't want to know. You just don't want to know.
Gee.
But for 4 mithril, I'll tell you.
You have to give it to the next guest too.
Pass it. Was it? Pay it forward. Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
You coined that term in Karandrin. Oh, it's so bad. So off he walks. You are off to an alley, I take it, and
Uh-huh.
All right.
Take some time and focus, and then use my channeling adder.
Okay. Roll it up.
71.
Nice.
And I, whenever I teleport using the boots, can I do a little, like Judy Garland, just like tap them together?
Oh, that's hilarious. I like that. How did you get stabbed in Convergence? Well, I made the mistake of changing my boots and just covering them with rubies. And I attracted a lot of unwanted attention.
Yeah.
All right, roll to aim.
74.
No problem. Into the valley of the Trinidas, you pop.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. They're never really alarmed. Just a momentary excitement of, oh, there's a big person here now.
Mm-hmm.
Several alight upon you. But one serves as spokesperson, although it's hard to tell if it is one. But one says, daughter of man, We are grieved that we could not save more of your people, that our warning came too late. $342 souls
Oh, wow.
of your kin and others lay slain in 11 different valleys.
Wow.
They now press upon us as we now thoroughly border the lands that they lay claim to.
Mm.
But we will suffer not one to lay foot here. And there's just this shimmer of sort of, I don't know, a symphony of wings and power that just resonates throughout the valley. This is our home.
I say, are you able to keep them at bay?
There are new defenses erected at the top of all the ridges you can see.
Mm.
The northern and the western ends of the valley. We have laid our mark, and they cannot pass without our notice. We have destroyed 30 of their kind.
Okay.
And if they come in force, then we will destroy even more. There are few powers that can rival ours in our home.
Right.
We still keep eyes on them. The towns, the settlements have all been torn to the ground.
Mm.
And those timbers that they deem unworthy have been laid in a pyre and burned even now. But some timbers were hauled away. There's a great labor of construction going on.
Mm.
They seem to be laying the foundations of a stone wall. Many flights long.
Mm.
And your slain kin and those of others march at their side, wielding tools, hammers, saws. Even your young are now felling trees for whatever dark work is at hand.
Oh my goodness. It's literally been like 24 hours. This is crazy. Let me think here. I ask about this wall they're building. Does it seem like a structure, or more?
It's a wall. I mean, it's a.
Did they say just one single wall, or is there actually are they building like a fortress? So I was trying to get a clearer picture of.
The first stones they have laid are twice your height and thickness.
Goodness.
But the work proceeds slowly. The valleys are overgrown, and hauling stones of that size, even with their great might, takes building of great roads.
I ask if there's been any activity from Chelbrick or his tower.
All seems quiet there. Overdos's estate, and Oberdos is the point you forgot about.
Oh, right. He was sieged.
Overdos's estate, they did not even salvage timbers from.
Oh, that sucks.
They had torn it to the ground and scattered its stones and burned its wood. Even the livestock were tortured and killed.
That's horrific.
I take it you have not spoken yet with Oberdos.
Oh, okay. He's still alive. I have not. Where could I find him?
He and 3 retainers we were able to save. We took them to the keep in the mountains where you lay your head.
The keep in the mountains where I lay my head?
They passed to the Green Realm as you have.
You're gonna need to be more specific than that. I'm sorry. Y'all need to. I'll just say, can you take me to them?
Passed to the Green Realm.
The Green Realm.
They got there about 4:20 or so.
They burned to the ground. Yeah. I asked, can you take me to where they are?
If you wish it, yes. But don't you have things to ask them before you?
I do. So I will. So I asked them about if you can continue to keep an eye on the construction. It'd be most appreciated, as well as any sites of the Philistan they might be gathering around.
And sort of report their activities.
Right. Any ruins or places of knowledge from when they were still a living people.
Right. Sort of their ancient places of living.
Right.
Do you want to spell out your concern?
I think they could be gathering their ancient knowledge to either further their own interests or to make further barters with Chelbrick.
We have more than enough force to spare to be able to do that.
I also ask about the green glow, if they have any idea where the nature of that magic and where it might have come from. Observed last night in the sky.
It was an arc of light from Chelbrick's tower.
Okay.
Well, then it landed. The arc of light landed amongst the workings at their great wall. There is now magic imbued in the ground and in the wall itself.
I see.
The area is now cursed. Within 333 feet of the wall. All who die will rise again to serve justice.
Wow. Okay.
Also, no solicitation, please. It's just a big sign that appears. That's the necromancer's real
Listed at
gift.
331 feet.
337.8. Oh man, now that they've given you all this information, just slide out 4 mithril. Just
God damn it, Kevin.
I just fucking love that idea. Like they turn off, like, what are we supposed to do with this? You know? They all make tiny mithril daggers for themselves. You're like, whoa, all right.
Now that's cool. That'll take down some Philistine, that's for sure.
Well, you ever been stabbed in the back and then up your back, up to your head?
Okay. I mentioned that I am meeting with other powers that are interested in
Worried.
well, right. I don't know whether we're describing it right. Are worried about the goings on in the vetch too.
They're happy. They're just happy about them.
I guess the Philistine wouldn't know like when to visit, right? I could have them visit 2 days from now in the evening.
The Philistine?
Sorry, the Trinitas.
I would not recommend inviting them to anything. I mean, if it were me. Now, I'm not your dad, but I would invite the undead anywhere.
No, I suggest that there's going to be a meeting 2 nights from now. If you try to find me using the power of the Flower Children, you may be able to hear the advice of others as well, and have a council of sorts.
We will consider it.
Okay. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to mention. So they can take me to. I asked them if they could take me to Oberdal and his retainers. Oh man, throat's getting scratchy.
Time to
I had a
bring
lot
out
of
the
meetings
vodka.
today, so it might
I
explain.
talked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played with Elle some today, so I've got the same problem. One of the flower people emerges from a portal. And, the cool, vegetable touch of the creature.
Cucumber.
Wraps around your wrist. A portal opens and you're like, okay. You
hold on, let me take a hit first.
Exactly. Because the green realm they travel through, for people who don't have missed that fact, it's a liquid realm. The portal opens, it leads you through. There is that cool gelatinous liquid just covers you.
Mm.
You keep your eyes sort of squinted shut, sort of squinted but kind of cracked, and the green light, of course, is just everywhere. It seems to come from everywhere. It is, of course, a three-dimensional space in which there is no ground, but there are the great root structures that grow in the distance through it. As you turn your head, you realize, not necessarily in the distance, there's one very close to you, 20 or 30 feet. It was just behind you. The creature moves some distance, somewhat, sluggishly through the material, but with a certain ease, a certain naturalness. And apparently this is your stop. And the portal opens.
Is there any distinct path we took, or place we ended up at?
There is, but because there was nothing to mark the space.
Right.
So there was nothing distinct about the space. I mean, you could say it was about 65 feet from that root back there, but I didn't get a good look at that root back there.
Right.
Right. You emerge out strangely clean. And you are in your quarters.
Oh, I'm so stupid. That's what that meant. Keep where I rest my head.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
I just thought that didn't connect in my mind.
Okay, but you didn't have an alternative, I guess.
No, yeah, I just thought I was thinking of a riddle, the keep where I rest my head,
All right. Yeah, the mountain keep where you rest
Right.
your head. Yeah.
I was thinking of some what is this Native American sound? where the water meets the cypress tree. Okay.
The creature gives you a little bow, turns, and re-enters the portal.
All right. Bow to it as well.
That's Bough.
Okay, so I'm in my corners now, but Averdal must be somewhere else in the keep.
Well, so
keeping.
Yeah, so walk through his experience. Put yourself in his shoes. He appears in a castle.
Right.
And goes, "This is not a castle I know."
Yeah.
Which means I can't just walk out and be accepted.
Right.
So he's got to figure out a way for him and his whatever retainers, whatever attendants, he's got to figure out a way to make it seem like he walked in the front gate and was looking for an audience.
Right. Or hopefully Fraldrin detected his presence. Although who knows if she was even here, she might still be.
Fraldrin would have been with you when the rescue occurred.
Oh, that's right. This happened.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
During the assaults on all of the habitations, including Averdal's estate. I should call up Averdal. I'm pretty certain I've got him rolled up.
Well, then I guess I need to ask the front guard about anyone who. Well, no. What would he have done? Yeah. I'm not sure who to ask at the keep, where I would find Averdal.
Servants.
Yeah, I mean,
they've been here for how long now? 24 hours?
Yeah, almost 24 hours.
So they would need bath, sleeping quarters, food.
Sure. Hopefully they didn't get thrown into the brig though, and then no one might know where they are.
Right. Then then that will be the talk of the
That's true, I guess. There'll be gossip. So yeah, let me ask one of the servants outside my quarters.
So yeah,
About,
you catch a servant. Is it
Lord
Miss
Overdall.
Chatty? It is not Miss Chatty.
Certain halfling lord and his 3 retainers.
There's a guard. Do you want to ask the guard?
Yeah.
They were given quarters, of course, my lady.
Okay. I ask if you can point me to where they are.
I'm afraid one of the servants would know. I just heard of their arrival that night. Not my shift, you
You're
see.
fired.
Well, all right.
Here's for your trouble. Here's your severance package.
Man, that's a nice severance package. My severance package was crap.
I just hate that it's called a severance package. It's such like a terrible name. Like,
It's
like just like a goodbye gift. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be so like professional sounding. So I'll wave down one of the servants then when I come across.
Miss Chatty.
All right.
Mistress, we didn't get word you were here. I'm so sorry. We would have had your bed turned down. I'll start a fire immediately. And so she goes, walks right past you and starts busying herself.
I ask her about where Overdall and his retainers are staying.
Well, there was a bit of kerfuffle, as you might understand. No one remembered seeing them come through the gate, and he had to explain that they were in a bit of a rush and didn't take the niceties and so on. These retainers arrived later that day.
Okay.
Well, I guess it'll be the next morning. So this morning. He's looking to buy some silver mines here, and was hoping to get leave of her ladyship to do so. Very well spoken gentleman, even if he is one of the short ones. But
the short ones.
They're on the next floor, just one floor up.
Okay.
Although I understand that his lordship Overdall is meeting with Athene at the moment.
Okay.
But the retainers are there well enough. Seemed rattled, they did. Must have been a rough ride for them. Set by raiders, maybe. That's my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes about her business.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I guess I probably don't want to meet when Athene is there. Unless there's anything I want to explain to her that Overdall couldn't either.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how he intends on. I guess he doesn't have to actually buy them, right? He can claim to buy them, look over properties, see what properties are available to purchase, from the keep's records, and then say that nothing looks interesting because he's now, presumably, he's now broke.
Yeah.
Um, so, um,
I'd like to buy these silver mines on credit, please.
and he slides 4 mithril.
Any silver I find will be paid forward.
Exactly. I had the ability to turn mithril, turn silver into this, and
Okay. Then I will wait, for maybe half an hour and then go upstairs and check to see if
you can get in the courtyard and just sort of scope out the entrance to
even better. Yeah.
Yeah. Touch ups to the keep continue.
Mm-hmm.
It's really looking, really very, very manicured. The typical gazes from goblins now that you've returned.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell. I should have you roll for it. Roll for me.
29.
There's clearly something got the guards bothered. And you get a lot of glances from them. Roll for me.
81. Well, they didn't see me come through either.
Right. And that is exactly the
Like,
issue.
how many people are we missing?
Right. And especially if you need to be announced, your quarters need to be made ready,
Right.
That falls on the guards.
Right.
And aside from, of course, the fundamental issue, as you pointed out, well, who else is just sneaking in here? And, there's like an elephant, just sneaking around.
And it's like, oh, yeah, there's Lord Algaret. What?
Right. Well, it's only half his army. I could see how we miss half his army. I get that. And like the flower people, they open portals and his army just marches through. You're like, oh, that's not good.
You seeing this? Are you seeing this? It's crazy. This is bananas.
Do you ever watch Seinfeld? I know it was
I love Seinfeld.
So I came across the fact that Jason Alexander has a podcast, like everyone else has a podcast, and it's called Really? No, Really. Okay. And so he's got an interview on there. It's him and his best friend interviewing people and talking about things. And so he's got an interview with Wayne Knight. Does that name sound familiar?
Yes, but I don't remember.
Newman.
Oh, right. Okay. Jurassic Park.
So I'm super enjoying it. I'm about halfway through that episode. Yeah. So if you just do Really No Really Wayne Knight, I'm about halfway through it, and it's really interesting. And like Wayne Knight's arc of career is really interesting. Like went from one big movie to another in minor roles, but it was just in his experience with directors. Oliver Stone hated his guts, and I found out that he was raised in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was born in New York, and they moved down to one of the suburbs of Atlanta, and then they moved back to New York. And so he was talking about, so I switched to my Georgia Bartow County accent. I was like, you're what now? And anyway.
Fun.
So Overdal, after, it feels like about an hour. Guards stop and servants kind of stop and ask if they can help you, if you need anything,
I'm just enjoying the evening. Thank you very much.
So I guess it puts it now, mid-afternoon. So you've got a couple hours of light before the mountains swallow the sun. Overdal has to be Overdal. It's one of the, it's a halfling you've never seen before.
I hope all of his retainers are like 6-foot elves.
That would be great. 6'9", let me see. Sorry, I was going to hop to his personality. So He's very unusual looking, tall for a halfling, but he looks a little sickly. His limbs and fingers are a little skeletal. They're just rail thin, but he still has the big belly of a halfling. He has graying, light red hair. Green. He has green eyes. And that hair is falls down to his butt in a series of knotted sort of ponytails. And there's a certain glitter to his clothing. They don't look like much, but it's strange. He walks with a limp. He has a very nice walking stick with him. Not really a staff, but really like a silver ended.
Hezard again. I'm going to be really annoyed.
Oh my god, that's hilarious! Haha, sucker.
Just checking.
Exactly. But that is it's almost burned in half at one place, and he clearly needs it but can't use it.
Oh man. Well, I will go introduce myself. I mean, is he just coming out of into the courtyard?
Yeah, he's headed toward his toward the quarters assigned to him. So your wing of the quarters. And a guard is walking with him just to make sure he doesn't get lost. And he's clearly used to command. As you approach, he stops and he raises a hand to stop the goblin guard. And he turns as though expecting, like, identify this person for me.
Right.
And the goblin, just can't help himself. He just bends down and mutters in the guy's ear, and clearly no real recognition registers on his face. But he very quickly shifts to a considerable degree of charm, as you've come to expect from halflings. He gives a great bow to you. His hair sweeps the floor, and then he quickly shakes it free of leaves and swings it behind him. And he says, "My lady Brise, what can I do for you?"
Well, I'll say that I have someone you might have heard of, but it's a pleasure to finally meet you. I guess, how would I introduce myself? I guess I've been monitoring what's, I don't even know how to say it, I guess. I'm the,
I'm sorry to hear what happened to your home.
Yeah, I guess start with an apology, right? Like, I'm sorry to hear what happened to you and your people in the Vetch. I've been speaking with the Trinidas about the matter.
Or Mr. and Mrs. Trinidas.
Right.
Your words are most kind, if unexpected. Turns to the guard and says, "You wouldn't mind if a beautiful young lady showed an old man to his quarters, would you?" And the guard says, "No, of course," and bows and goes away. And the goblin calls him sir, and you're like, "This dude,
Yeah,
man, some shit." He offers you his arm, and you take it as much as basically drop
Bend down and take it.
lift him up. You just lift him up, and um, so you as you approach the quarters, he tells you, "Fear not. I know the way well enough." You guys make it upstairs. Servants immediately come. As soon as he enters the door, right? Servants are tailing you in to see if there's anything you need. He says, "Sandwiches, beef and ham,
Italian.
coffee and tea. Go." And off they go. He says all this with sort of a geniality, but with this is how it's going to have to be.
Yeah. Okay.
And he offers you a seat on the couch. He pulls a chair close. He says, "You know more about what's going on than anyone else here. How did that come to be?"
Well, it is a long story. And I guess, do I want to tell him? I feel like he deserves to know like everything just because he's suffered so much. I guess what's the feeling I get from him, right? I know he's suffered a lot to 19.
Whether by chance or by skill, he is very hard to read.
Okay.
But that said, the Trinidos trusted you and the Trinidos trusted him.
Right. So I might as well I'll mention Verilag in the sense, I guess I do even need to mention that. No, I guess I just need to say that I first encountered the Philistan traveling through the Vetch and had gotten their attention. And since then, things kind of spiraled out of control a little bit as they took an interest in regaining their old, reasserting themselves as a power, it seems. I'd been keeping tabs on them through the Trinidos, meeting with them for over a couple months now.
You are the one that they mentioned carried the blood of their enemy.
This is right.
And was going to betray the enemy to them.
That was what they were hoping, I presume. And I say that this enemy has been slain and should no longer be a threat to the world, but still they continue being, I guess, evil creatures as they are.
He leans back in his chair and takes his slightly eerie fingers and sort of puts them on his belly. And he says, "We are such small things." He leans back to you. He says, "Tell on."
And then I'll mention about what I know about Chelbrick then. So we know that he has been aiding the Philistan with magic discreetly. And that was at the time of the attack. He had, well, I guess it would have been after the attack. He empowered them and their newfound servants to start erecting a wall in the valley.
A wall? How do you mean?
Well, some type of construction has just begun. And then I'll mention that I jumped too far ahead, but that's okay. We had tried to rescue some of the individuals in the valley. Me, the chief magician of this keep, Fraldrim, and one of her apprentices, Doshrik. Us three managed to save a few individuals while the battles were raging on.
You did better than we could. I sent some of my best aides for help. Skilled men.
Mm.
I fear that ill fell them very quickly.
Philistan are powerful and dead. Even us three had a tough time fending off more than a handful at a time.
The Trinidons are a special sort of creature. And I suppose being wonderstruck by them, when they spoke of hundreds of them, hundreds of these horrible creatures, I was too foolish to listen. An enemy with that amount of power had no need for negotiation, and I should have seen that to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And now Chelbrick fuels their power and their ambition. And now much of the vetch is lost. I should have summoned every resource I had, made a show of force. He stands and just goes up to the fire, sort of lost in thought.
Well, I say, but you are alive, and that is good news. We have, we're gaining allies by the day. At least to, if not to solve the problem with the Philistan, to at least do something about Chelbrick.
Is his form of arts truly strong enough to stand against, to even influence hundreds such as the Philistan? I mean, he's asking you, like, you're the adventurer.
Right. I mentioned that I don't know much about necromancy, but I do know the Philistan did make an offering of the body of a great demon to Chelbrick. And this possibly could have fueled his powers. If there are similar such deals, he could, press the Philistan into making, he might have such power in months, years, who knows?
But again, why deal with the human at all? I fear Chelbrick is making the same mistake that I did. They'll bargain until they can get their forces arrayed. And then they'll have his grungy little tower the same way they had my lands and all those poor people. We're missing something. Either what Chelbrick can do or what the Philistine want.
Mm. I agree. It's a puzzle we don't have all the pieces to. And then I mentioned that 2 nights from now. Well, I guess I should go back to.
Yeah, you got a schedule.
Okay, so I say I'm meeting. There's an estate outside of Convergence. Lady Kieran is her name. I'm meeting there tonight, and I have another meeting arranged 2 nights from now to discuss with Fraldrim, Doshrik, and others potentially on this matter. And you're, welcome to attend. Although I also understand suffered a lot in the past day.
It fills my mind. I don't know what service I can be to you. I've hidden my injuries from the keep and all her occupants. Those that we couldn't hide, we blamed on thieves and raiders. I don't know that I have the strength for a meeting.
Well, yes, then I hope your accommodations are fitting here for your recovery, at least.
I had 80 men at my estate.
Oof.
Half brought from various areas of the world, ready to fight the Philistine. We killed, from what I saw, maybe 10. I don't know what an old halfling is going to be able to help you with now. My cards are played. My pockets are empty.
Mm.
But I will give you 4 mithril. Why am I undercutting dramatic moments? We had such a nice build-up, but I have to ruin everything.
I heard, but I will give you, and I was like, I heard 4. I'm like, oh.
You think I can be of service? I can't come tonight. I have to make it into town tomorrow with the coin and clothes on my back. I'm trying to find a healer that's discreet.
All right, now I really want to seriously give him 4 mithril because.
Well, that's up to you, of course.
I mean, yeah, Brise is generous. I would just open up my coin purse and say, "What do you need?"
I can't take a young woman's money.
I'm 18. Voice cracks.
Wait, what is wrong with you? I think you're on the fence there, gender-wise. You need to. I mean, I guess I could say you should pick a lane, but the technology is really not there for you to do that. You're just kind of stuck, unfortunately. But
They haven't invented magic yet to do that. Oh my god!
I know, right?
Sorcerers, they gotta get on it.
Gender law,
Mhm.
Oh wait, that's what we're debating now. Um, um, what do you want to do? Push the
I mean, I push him like I'll take out 2 mithril and just give it to him, and I say, someone gave these to me just for a little information today. You can make much better use of them. I have everything I need here in the keep.
The Trinidos choose their friends wisely. This will help a great deal, both with our healing and getting the rest of my staff new lives.
He just comes back with like a golden wagon.
And his servants are
gotta have some more mithril.
they're just strapped to it. He's like, you off me.
You like look at his character sheets. Oh, his greed is off the charts. Oh my god. Whoops. Didn't realize that. Okay.
Is there anything else you need from him? I should roll if he needs anything from you.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, his estate was razed to the ground, so there's nothing left to retrieve there. And I'll just leave off. Well, I'll just ask him, like, I'll keep you appraised of what we find in the vetch, if you would wish.
I feel their loss is my fault. Please, then, do so.
Okay.
And keep me apprised of whatever meetings beyond tonight that you might need my counsel in.
Okay. Yeah, he would know, I was thinking he would know like the terrain of the vetch and at least around his tower, right?
He probably has at least some dealings in Pleston, some dealings in Convergence, right?
Yeah.
Supplies, change of scenery, that kind of thing. Probably travels in relatively respectable circles.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all for that conversation.
A really good stopping point, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is it? Early evening?
Yeah, early evening. You're back at the keep, and of course you'll do a double teleport and try to get back to Lady Kieran's.
Oh, that's right. It's too far to teleport there directly. Well,
Right.
too far to teleport to Convergence. Probably too far for hers as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a couple miles outside the city. The odds that you're off by that much are pretty slim.
Yeah.
So, well, all righty. That was enjoyable. That was
that was a lot of good conversations.
Yeah, kind of tense and dramatic and sort of emotionally significant and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good one. Well, guys, thanks for joining us for episode 129. Next week is a hat week, which is, of course, any episode that ends in a 0. So episode 130 next Wednesday. I hope you'll join us then. In the meantime, if you think we're doing a good job, hop to Donor Box and send us a little love. Hunt down more of Max on YouTube. You see his channel right there where he discusses the role of music and original soundtracks in video games. Thanks as always to Elliot Denovitz for their terrific character art we use almost every episode representing Brise. And you can find more of their work at artstation.com/Tortulua. And I've written a novel called A Shore Too Far. I hope you can find it on Amazon and snap up a copy. So, Max, say goodbye to the lovely people.
I hope you all enjoyed this one, and we will see you next week.
See you again.
Episode 130.